Zach, as you wrap up the end of week 1 of BYU football fall camp, training camp, whatever you want to call it, how would you sum up the first few days overall on the offensive side?
I would say we hit practice like we never ended from last season. It was a really cool thing to see our very first day, how the guys responded, how the line came out and played, how well the guys knew the offense. You know, you could tell people really put in that work from the off season. I think even the coaches were a little shocked coming out on the first day, like whoa, like this looks good, like this offense looks solid. I know they were expecting mistakes, and I know they weren't expecting us to be perfect, but I definitely think we shocked them a little bit. You know, so the first week was solid, but so much to build on too.
So video is put out there of you hooking up with Levi Hifo for 70 yards very early in day 1. Walk us through that play and what happened and what that was like to open things up with a big play like that.
Yeah, well, we tagged a quick seam route for Leva, and I saw they were playing like their quarters man coverage, and Leva's one-on-one with an off safety, and he's going to be putting a move on someone that has cushion. And so, you know, instantly in my mind, I'm like, okay, well, can I throw it this far? And Leva's like, can he throw it this far? And so, you know, you get in that situation where you just start to react, and the game flow comes, and it was actually pretty effortless, and he ran an amazing route. The line protected so great. Made my job easy. I mean, he was wide open.
What does that do for you when you're trying to figure things out with your arm and your right shoulder? Because it is this process to get back to 100%, whatever that is. So when that happens, what does that do for you as a football player?
No, it brings a lot of confidence. I was anxious to see how fall camp would be. I know what it's like to throw thinking about my arm, but you come out here and you start to realize in team sessions you're not thinking about your arm, you're reacting. Something pops open, you're ready to throw it. Whether your arm is healthy or not, you're going to throw it 100%. And so it was cool because I'm progressing really well. Just in 3 days is like night and day difference from last week, and so I'm super happy with that. Obviously the pitch count and stuff still has to be on, and we're trying to, you know, build that endurance because you know, 6 days straight, especially going into the next few weeks, is hard. It's hard on any quarterback, whether you had, you know, surgery or not. And so whether I feel good or not, we're still going to take it slow and work into it. Just excited for this year.
I know you're a competitor, and so to be on a pitch count, how do you manage that when you're like, I need to be taking more reps? Like, how do you deal with that mentally?
I kind of pick and choose. We'll do routes on air, and I'll choose the guys I kind of want to throw to, and I'll, you know, give the reps to other guys. One-on-ones, I'll kind of take the guys I want to throw to, the things I want to work on. So I'm looking for more quality over quantity right now. I know, hey, I'm gonna be throwing to Bushman, I'm gonna be throwing to Leva. I want to work with those guys in certain routes, and then I want to save enough reps to where I can hit every team session. I don't want to miss out on the team session because I think that's where the most reaction and, you know, fluidness of being a quarterback comes. So much of, you know, even Skelly at times, you're thinking too much, but when you get in that game time situation, that's what I need the most. So I'm trying to keep most of my reps there.
BYU quarterback Zach Wilson with us from BYU football fall camp. I know you said that adrenaline kicks in and plays a factor in this too when you're trying to come back from your arm injury, and adrenaline carried you through when your arm was injured last year. So what does the adrenaline do for you through the first few days of camp?
You know, it played a huge part. Warming up, I'm like, shoot, some of these throws don't feel great, these don't feel great. But once you get out there and you throw some of those team throws, you start to surprise yourself. I'll throw a field goal when, you know, if we just line up field goals, I can't really throw field goals, but in team I can throw a field goal. I don't know how, but it just ends up working out that way.
Okay, now, does this concern your coaches and your trainers, or is this an okay thing? Is this part of the process?
No, so actually it's better than what's expected. Talking to John, talking to guys in the past that had these things, Andrew Luck, Drew Brees, they went into training camp barely being able to throw the mediocre small stuff, and you know, you're gonna have those small pains, those small, you know, you haven't thrown for 7 months, all those muscles are shut down and tight. You're reteaching them how to work, and so you know, I think I've surprised myself with the throws I'm able to make. Obviously I want the velocity to get better, but you can tell in 3 days it's gotten better. You know, so I'm looking for weeks ahead, you know, a great recovery. I know in the long run it will definitely be better for sure.
Now, I know you said to me last week that just because of what situation you were dealing with late last year and you needed surgery, and even though you had to sit out a few months and you haven't been making throws for 6 or 7 months, you still feel like a better quarterback. Why is that? Why do you feel like a better overall quarterback even though you've had to rest your arm significantly?
Yeah, I almost look at it like it's a blessing in disguise. When you can't have one thing, you start to strengthen something else. So I really try to take my mental game to a whole nother level. Luckily, I had that game time experience, and I knew the feel of the game and the things that I wanted to react and play with. And so, I'm trying to take it to the next step. And then you come out here and you mix it with live reps. You start to put what you had in your head and what you had on the film onto the field, and you start to try and mess around with things and bring things together.
So with Aaron Roderick, he has talked about how you're blowing up his phone. Release points, coverages, different things that go into becoming a great quarterback. Is he number one on your speed dial right now?
Yeah, he is for sure. I mean, I want to reach out to also Coach Grimes and Coach Kalani and talk to those guys. But Coach Roderick's our quarterback coach, and I know what he sees is what I see, and I know the connection between the two is so big. So, talking to past quarterbacks that have been here, NFL guys that I've been hanging out with in the last month, is you really got to have that communication with them. Is you got to see their eye, you got to see through their eyes, and everything I'm doing, they got to expect me to do the same. And so, I think that's huge. That was one of my biggest pushes this offseason. Is I want to throw things at him and let him decide on what he thinks is best. And I hope I'm not annoying at all, but I don't think it hurts. I think they like it that I'm engaged, and I want to reach out and help this team win.
As long as these aren't like 3 a.m. texts, it's okay, right?
Yeah, sometimes they are.
Okay, and apparently it's, hey, if it works, it works, right? Now, I've talked to a couple of the coaches, and they're talking about you becoming a quarterback that can throw people open, whether it's Gunnar Romney or it's a Levi Hippo or a Matt Bushman, where you're not reacting so much, you're just anticipating. You're almost becoming a surgeon on the field. What's the key to making that step where you throw guys open? Yeah,
another thing with the shoulder is it's a blessing in disguise, right? I can't throw some of these things on a line, so my anticipation has to be ×2 from everybody else. I mean, even if a ball's lobbed, as long as it's getting there before anybody else is breaking on it, then it's a job well done. So that's one of my biggest pushes. I'm speeding up my footwork a little bit. I'm trying to throw routes based on coverages and not so much how the route's going to open up, and no guys are going to get there.
Now, as you approach week 2, I mean, what's the biggest question mark that still remains with this team?
I know everyone's got a question mark on us, how we're going to do. I think we're going to shock a lot of people. Of course, I'm going to say that just because I really believe and I have confidence in this team that we have an amazing ability. Obviously, our O-line looks awesome out here. We have an amazing run attack. Some of our new backs look awesome. And receivers just, the difference now is that people just know what they're doing. I mean, guys know when to sit in holes and how they're going to stack routes, how they're going to climb, and so everything is just fitting together. It's like those struggles you hear about when you have a first-year offense, and so we're definitely looking more like a veteran offense now.
Zach, it's great to catch up with you, man. We appreciate the time as always. And whatever the pitch count is, good luck with that. And right now, I don't know, maybe we should declare you 92.71% healthy. Is that okay?
I don't know what the percentage is. We'll see.
I kid. All right, man. Great to talk to you. Thanks.
Thanks.